Crazy, bro. All right. Welcome in, everybody. It is the Friday episode of Daily Bread coming at you live right at that perfect lunchtime for everyone on the East Coast. And on the West Coast, if you're running it back a little bit later, it doesn't matter. No plays start until 6 or 7 o'clock Eastern. So, plenty of time to be securing that extra weekend bankroll with Daily Bread, all powered and sponsored by the Wise Guys Diamond Club. Be sure to be hopping into their DMs. Today is day 2 of the wonderful college football 5-day slate. It gets a little bit rougher Sunday and Monday with only one game only, and tonight's slate isn't the best, but we got you covered of where you should be locking in, along with the MLB plays of the day. So if you're with us on Twitter, we appreciate you there. Give us the like and retweet on the video. And then if you want to be sponsored or if you want to be featured, you can sponsor us too if you want. But if you want to be featured in today's show, hit that link in the title to jump in with Brian, Akbar, and everybody else in the chat. But Sosa, how you doing today?
Doing great, man. I'm happy as hell that it's college football season, like you just mentioned. Easy money last night with the games that we picked.
Except for Penn State, I guess that wasn't easy. That was just.
I never had a doubt. I never had a doubt. I don't know about anybody else, but I never doubted for a second. I knew that Clifford would come through.
Yeah, if I ever try to lay points with Clifford again, just smack me or something through the camera.
Funniest stat though is like we talk about him being a gas can, right? Yeah, last night was his fourth 4-touchdown game at Penn State, which ties him with I forget who, but
Well, I mean, when you're there for 6 years, you get a lot of opportunities too.
Only 6, huh?
But some wild. If you just like crop people's names out and just put stats on the board, your favorite way of talking football. Just look at Clifford's stats. Don't look at any of the film and don't look at the name on it. Pretty wild to look at his numbers, to be honest. But you saw in the second half, what did he make? He didn't make a good throw till the final drive.
He really did not.
Everyone was calling for Aller to get back in. That's much better than Penn State's backups that came in last year from that game. But it's just kind of the fact where Purdue in the fourth quarter had the ball 3 separate times with the lead, 14 passes, 1 rush. I mean, every Twitter coach was yelling for them to run it. Really not that much to say. They ended up giving Penn State the ball with 2+ minutes and change and 2 timeouts left. Should have ran at least once or twice to take away one of the timeouts at the end of the day, but got the ball back with 58 seconds. That was just a roller coaster.
Yeah, well, again, once they got the ball back inside a minute, I was like, okay, it's finally then. And then obviously look back at the Pittsburgh game. Everything we wanted happened. The 7.5 lane was easy.
Yeah, the West Virginia defensive line looking like one of the stronger lines in there was pretty wild to see. I mean, you saw Pitt's line get to Daniels early, and then the guy, I think, dislocated his shoulder trying to strip sack the guy, and he was one of the most crucial parts of the rush. But yeah, Daniels was scrambling and throwing some ducks early before he settled in.
Yeah. Like I said, I watched a little bit of the Pitt game. I watched obviously Tennessee. They got 38 by halftime. They didn't score 60. They only gave us 59.
You knew exactly what the number was.
But it's like I said, that's one team I'm going to be talking up a lot this year. I think from an offensive standpoint, Tennessee has every single thing you need to be effective. It's going to come down to the defense getting stops and not being manhandled at the line of scrimmage, which against teams like Georgia and Alabama, those are about it that are going to give them like legit issues. I really do think that this Tennessee team is a team that can really make some noise on a national stage. Personally,
I'll have to wait to see it.
Yep, it's they gotta do it first. Obviously,
always nice having your cupcakes, right?
Yeah, that and it helps when your quarterback is meh, but the future in at the quarterback position is sitting right behind him. Obviously, Milton didn't really have to do much in the second half, just primarily handed the ball off.
Well, they get Pitt and Florida in two of their next three games with Akron squished in the middle. So I'll be able to have a lot more Tennessee thoughts real quick after those next two games.
Yes, sir.
But let's get into today's MLB slate. We'll run through, like I said, not the best Friday night football slate. They really should have pushed the backyard brawl to tonight or Penn State Purdue and not had them run head to head. But they don't pay us the big enough bucks to tell them that. Sosa, we're restarting today's game in the MLB slate.
Today's MLB slate, we're going to go straight to the Oakland Athletics at Baltimore Orioles. Orioles finally home. They get to Gunnar Henderson gets to make his debut in front of the home crowd. Kramer's on the mound. Obviously, he's not the best pitcher they have, but I am taking the Baltimore Orioles on the run line tonight at plus 128. They are the favorites. We're used to getting them on the run line as dogs. I like them in the spot. I think Oakland is Oakland. I think or the Orioles, they battle against good teams and they beat the teams that they're supposed to. That's the mark of a good team. I also really do believe that this Baltimore team can make a serious run if they are able to get into the playoffs. I really do believe in this team. I like their bullpen. Their starting rotation's been better than anybody could have expected. The bullpen's been outrageously good, and that's with trading their that's with trading their closer. And the bullpen's been even better since he's been traded. So yeah, I'm on the Baltimore Orioles run line at plus 128, minus 1.5. They're not dogs tonight.
I like it. I like where we're starting. And it'll be weird, Sosa, for me to be going to this one here to talk about the Dodgers. But give me their first five team total over 2.5 at plus 125 with the fade of the road start for you. Sure, he's been going deeper into his last three starts, but he hasn't had a clean one in a while. 4.44 road ERA there. Dodgers, sure, they're traveling cross country without a day off. The Padres are coming with the day off. Maybe you can just target the Dodgers on the run line or the first five run line because Yu Darvish is 2-5 when starting against them so far this season. As long as the Dodgers don't strike out 5+ times, they should come through pretty easy. That's the way that you can controls him a little bit to a point. When he gets 5+, he's usually looking a little clean.
Yes, sir. And we can actually double right back in the same game. Obviously, I'm on the Dodgers run line at plus 128, fading Yu Darvish on the road. The only way I see the Padres winning this game is catching us off travel. However, like I said, I don't fear their starting pitcher. As long as Mookie Betts is in the lineup, there will be zero hesitation for me ever betting the Dodgers to any capacity.
And just to say that we did look at the Dodgers or the Padres side of this, when they've gone 3+ wins in a row, they're 8-10 straight up. One of the rare teams that go against that trend. Most times when a team's cooking, they roll. But when they play at the day off, they're 9-3 straight up, and the over is 7-4.
Yes, sir.
We though just because we have to talk about it here, I kind of just got priced out of this play, and I told you I would not be betting on the Red Sox. I've been fading them at any point potentially, but Keuchel's on the mound here.
Our boy.
Red Sox first five, team total over 2.5 at minus 145. Way too much juice. The Red Sox full game team total is 5.5 at plus 118, especially with probably not getting a home at bat in the bottom of the ninth. I'm not feeling it. So got to stay off it, but we have to talk about it. We're required to. Whenever our guys make starts. We should make a little thing at the bottom of all just our favorite pitchers to fade.
Yeah, Keuchel, Brubaker, Keller.
Bundy made his way on there a little bit.
Yeah, but it's
you
funny.
Forgot our favorite, Spencer Howard. He had to be the biggest one. He gets the biggest face on it.
See this guy right here. I wouldn't be opposed to that. He's talking about Jeffrey Springs. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's Jeffrey Springs Day. The numbers are usually around 5.5, 4.5, or 5.5. People love him. I'm a fan as well. I think he can perform well against the Yankees. The thing is that the motivation for the Yankees, the Yankee team right now, I think it's got to be at an all-time high. They're only 6 games ahead of the Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays are extremely motivated in this spot because they can literally make the division an actual race if they fare well in this particular series. So I'm very much interested in seeing that. I actually lean towards the Tampa Bay Rays tonight. I mean, obviously they're favored. They're at home. Jeffrey Springs is the better of the 2 pitchers. I think that Tampa Bay will probably win the game, but I would lean towards them winning it at -126. I can't. The Yankees, wow, finding ways to lose ball games on the road, not the look. And now they're traveling west to east against a team that has played better baseball than them over the last month. So it's a tough one. Just saying.
Yep. So we got Henry dropping Sandy start. Always got to talk about him.
Sandy and Morton, you got a low 6.5. I would lean towards the over. I think one of them gives it up.
Phil's. Chad was having a little conundrum in the chat, just talking to himself about the Phillies, if they're playing or not today. And yes, out in San Francisco. Gibby on the mound. Kind of maybe like the over there. He'll trade you at least 6. Probably give up 2 or 3. Just got to see if the bats are cooking. Day off. Probably play the Phils nice. Let me pull up the stats there to see if I can get anything for that.
Yeah, I'm not. You know me. I'm not touching.
He's right at that pick'em price. That's where the Phillies, after a day off, they're 6-6 overall, 6-6 to the total. Not much you can say there. The Giants are 7-9 and 7-7. Pure coin toss game.
McCullers on the mound tonight for the Astros against Reed Detmers, who's actually been pretty good this year. I mean, he's gotten better. Obviously had the one amazing start, and then he got right back on the seesaw. But I lean the Astros. I can't give this Angels team much credit. I mean, unless they're really, really locked in on playing spoiler for someone, but they're not going to affect Houston. They definitely affected the Yankees for sure, because that series has definitely hurt the Yankees as far as their division goes. So unless the Angels are locked in on that being their motivation, their sole motivation when they go out there to play, because it ain't statistics, ain't none, you know what I mean? None of them have a chance of doing anything. So I lean towards the Astros actually probably going off and beating the shit out of them today. But that's just how I feel in regards to that. Let's get on to the real stuff, man.
I was about to say the only other game that we didn't talk about was the Mariners at the Guardians with Plesac and the Castillo start. They both just made recent starts against the team in their last one. Just the last good matchup on the day. And is that why you wanted to transition? Because you saw Goose tapping in?
Yeah, is Corsac punting today?
Nah. I don't think of a cupcake on the first one. He won't get a lot of film.
I think they play somebody good, actually.
He might have a lot of film, man.
They might be the cupcake. I could be wrong. I don't know.
That's where you're just saying with Rutgers, punter usually does get a lot of good film.
He does. He's legendary.
All right, today's college football slate. You got maybe get a little bit creative here. You got one game that's sitting at a lower price. The rest you're paying a little bit more, and how slim the slate was. Villanova is laying 29 against Lehigh. That was a game that I was actually looking into today because Nova beat them 47-3 last season. That's how slim today's slate is. But I'll start it off because Sosa and I both have a play in this one, somewhat similar. Michigan State hosting Western Michigan here. That's their cupcake per usual. Usually gets an in-state team there. I'm just laying the first half team total over 20.5 -115. That's available out there on DraftKings. Yes, we're believing into Peyton Thorne, and they're just going to run it up. Western Michigan, they'll play with too much pace here, which will throw it into them. You could look at the first half, but you're paying a 13.5 or 14 price right now, and I just think that's a little too much. I don't know if Western Michigan scores, but their defense ranks in the bottom 85, and their defensive line unit rank 110 plus. So I just think Michigan State could just run it up the field 3 easy times, 3 drives. Field goal is the only way I think it spoils it.
Yes, sir. And obviously, we're 100% aligned. I'm on the full game team total for Michigan State. It's 37.5. I think they get 40 easy. Very similar to, I wouldn't say Tennessee, because obviously I think Tennessee's offense is, a little more explosive. But I think Michigan State's offense is very underrated. I think they're going to be a pretty explosive team for the most part this season. They're going to put up a lot more points than people think. Mel Tucker's a hell of a recruiter. So got some of the best transfers in America last year and this year. That over 37.5, I love. He got a bag. All his players are getting bags. I got to rock out with Michigan State. Huge Nike deal at the school too. So, I'm rocking with Michigan State today. Over 37.5 team total. And that's my only other look in this one.
Yep. So Rogers leading us into the next game that we're going to talk about. The Illini were sitting at a +3 earlier in the week. Now it's came down to pick'em price. OZ saying they'll score in the first quarter. I like it there. That'll help our first half. They really don't have a look-ahead spot either because they have Akron coming in next week, so they could just run it up straight. I just like them to get off hot to a start. But the Illini match here, I mean, anyone who's holding their team total or their win totals over here, this is a huge one. Bielema looks to have the squad cooking. First game, I mean, it's easy to look decent against that Wyoming squad here. And I don't know if anyone is holding an Indiana ticket in this game here. Indiana on paper and just unit strength is a much stronger squad, but do you give precedent to a team playing a game prior week?
Too early in the year for Big Ten football, man. This was a terrible fucking idea.
Connor Barazic versus Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito of, I believe that's the Temple one. I believe he was at Temple quarterback.
Who thought of this? Big Ten teams playing in September? Who thought of this is a terrible idea. I have absolutely nothing in this ball game. Nothing. Not gonna watch it. I have zero interest. None. Who's the coach at Illinois? Bielema?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, yeah. Yep, no interest in this one, man. I can't.
Syracuse. He was the Syracuse quarterback, not the Temple quarterback. Sorry. Mixing up the Italian last names. Russo. Sorry. Close enough. But yeah, here, I mean, if I want to rock with the wave, I just don't know. It's a complete stay away from one here. I think this is going to grind it out to the end. It's going to be another gross fashion. I think we'll see a lot more rushing in this one than we did last night. Easiest way to put it.
Yes, sir.
One of the better games on the slate, and that's the third one that we'll wrap it up with, is TCU versus Colorado. TCU, you're laying 13.5 on the road, which I am not trying to do with Max Duggan. You got the total sitting at 58.5, which is where my name's calling. You get the earlier game, so the altitude sure maybe ain't as that bad when it gets colder. But it's just kind of, I don't want to rely on this one because a slow first half could definitely kill this total here. You got TCU's team total sitting at 35, which I'm also liking as well since they score 40. But like I said, first game with Duggan there, I just got to stick it to the one play only with the Michigan State first half team total over 20.5 at -115. Yes, the pain games are the best games. I'll definitely be watching all of Illinois versus Indiana tonight. But I don't want to pick a winner in that one.
You ready for the degenerate special?
Are you laying the points with Nova?
No. I am going to the Holy Cross Merrimack game.
Oh, that's where Lehigh had to watch Holy Cross film to be good on Nova. So very similar. FCS, man.
We're going with Holy Cross team total over 37.5. I think they really just beat the shit out of Merrimack. I think they put up 55, and then they'll probably proceed to go 2-10. So,
who? Holy Cross? They were good last year. They made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Nova
no.
spanked them in the playoffs, but they made it to the playoffs last year.
They won't. Like I said, I think.
I think they went 9-5. See, that's FCS.
I don't see them being good. I see them winning today and winning probably a couple. But I think last year was just I'm good. It happens. It's like Arkansas. Everybody likes Arkansas because of last year, and then when they win 7 games, everyone's gonna be sick. I'm telling you, man. It's certain teams they won 9 games and then 7-5.
Yeah, Charlotte only laying -4 against William and Mary is saying a lot.
Didn't Charlotte just get the shit beat out of them last week by FAU?
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's where you really know, because the analytics guys have this at 10+. So that's where you can see one game, and I believe the quarterback's out as well. Really affects the number there.
Also, real quick shout out to Muhammad Ibrahim, recovering from an Achilles tear in 8 months to not miss a game to start the year. I mean, that's amazing. Little stuff like that's cool to me. Yeah.
You got anything for Eastern Michigan, Eastern Kentucky?
No, sir. Not
I could.
Nah, I got nothing.
Not one where the stat nerds are telling you to lay.
I'm in every single game tomorrow, though.
Oh yeah, that's where tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. That's where you get all the good stuff. Tonight's just a little appetizer to secure that extra weekend bankroll, and you already know what happens on Saturdays. Going forward, we'll probably have to do the weekend footy slate tonight, Sosa, or on the Friday shows, because pay for play takes us up Saturday. We'll be live Sundays, next Sunday with the NFL, the last Sunday without Sunday morning QBs. So you already know, if you tapped in with us from last season, if you're a new viewer, Saturdays pay for plays, Sundays Sunday morning quarterbacks. Same YouTube channel, different Twitter handles. Get a lot of guests on the weekends.
Yes, sir.
Other than that, DFS slate, JD's still up. You can still run it. It's for the Saturday main slate. You can use it for gambling advice as well. Other than that, we appreciate everyone tapping in. Enjoy the long weekend. If you don't talk to us, we out.
Like, subscribe, the whole